Hey guys, it is currently 5:43 p.m. on August 17th, of Friday. This is the first video that I've actually filmed to put on this channel right now, since I fell last week, which is 2 Wednesdays ago at this point. My hands are still a little damaged, but they are healed. They're just a little rough at the moment. This one, my wrist is bruised all down here, so the only good news is that the bruise isn't quite as tender anymore, so I can wear a brace, which is always a plus. My leg is still scratched up, my foot's still a little wonky, and I have a really nice bruise and scratch on my hip. But everything has healed most of the way, and it is less painful than it was when it first happened. I somersaulted and slid on the gravel after tripping over my dog on a run. That's the basics of it. But now that I can finally film videos again, because I was mostly waiting for my hands to heal, I will say that the fall did put a damper in all of my progress. I did finish, hold on, I don't have that notebook in here. I did finish editing Cut to the Kill, edit number 6 the other day, but I'm still working on edit 4 of Ashes in the Light and edit 4 of It Starts With Goodbye. I was taking story notes on those, and normally I like to write my story notes, but I could not write because this hand was pretty damaged when I fell. But I have been typing those notes instead. I don't personally enjoy typing story notes. I feel like it's just not as effective for me, but I have been doing it. I just haven't been editing the book as often as I should. Either book, actually. I think I was originally supposed to have it done in another week at this point. I will actually go onto the app and tell you what my original goal was for that. They are down here. Yeah, I originally had it set for August 21st, and I don't think I can do that. I don't know. We'll see. That's next Tuesday. I would need to edit 6,620 words in Ashes in the Light every single day to finish it on time. And with It Starts With Goodbye, I would need to edit 7,036 words every single day to finish it on time. That would not be an issue if I wasn't taking story notes, but the story notes take a bit more time, and Ashes in the Light has several scenes that still need to be added. But currently I am just working on The Campsite Butcher. I have worked on all of my other books since Nano ended, and have done so several times. But I haven't written in Letters from Madman, Tito Vito, or Rasmussen in 5 days, and I haven't written in Feckenhauer, Grim Reaper in 4, Pittman's Legend, God is Gracious, Calvin, Macabre Red in 3 days. I worked on Hearts and Roses yesterday, and I've been working on The Campsite Butcher since yesterday or the day before, I think. I've currently just started chapter 30 of The Campsite Butcher. The goal is to finish that book before I move back onto all of the others. I let my readers vote for book 5, which book 5 appears that it will be titled The Painter at the moment. There are still a few votes that I haven't tallied, but The Painter has 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 votes, so I don't think that it is possible at this point for any of the others to win, which kind of sucks, but, you know, it is the one. I did not want Painter to win, but I think it will still be an okay book. It just wasn't on my radar for anything. I just assumed it wouldn't be one that people would vote for. But we are very, very close to the end of The Campsite Butcher at this point. Since I'm on chapter 30, that means there will be at least 3 more chapters. Well, this could be the last chapter, but I don't think it will be. So I like to end these ones with an even number chapter and then an epilogue, so that will be what I'm doing. But the goal is to continue working on this one until I finish it and then move back to all of the other ones. But I don't know how long that will take me to do. Everything has been relatively slow since my fall. I have some good hours and I have some bad hours. There are times where I can type 2,000 words in 1.5 hours, and there are other times where I can type like 100 words in that same amount of time. It totally mostly depends on my wrist and how much I ice it in between, because I have been icing it as much as possible. But I'm going to get back to work on the Campsite Butcher. At the moment, I am at 50,127 words. The only goal with the Bo Austin books is to get them over 40,000. I personally don't think that detective books need much more than 40,000, and for all intents and purposes, 40,000 does push it over what makes it a novel. Some books are much longer than that. I think one of the Bo Austin books is like 90,000 words because there was a lot to happen in it, and some of the others end up directly at 50,000 and that's it. So I don't think that much more needs to go into this without spoiling anything. We are at a point where they have arrested a suspect and they have arrested the killer for another crime. Now they're going back to Florida to talk to a certain someone who would have been important at the end of last book. So there are just a few more things to wrap up at this point, and then we'll pretty much be good to go. But the goal is to work on this one until I finish it, no matter how long it takes. I'm hoping to get it done this weekend. This video is going to cover Friday through Sunday, if not a little bit of Monday, and then it will be uploaded on Monday. But it will mostly just be a work in progress video regardless, but it's just a weekend progress video, basically. So I'm going to get back to work on this. I'm going to drink my coffee and then make supper sometime in between that. After my tablet charges, I might play Sims, because then I will be able to work on my tablet without having to turn around, because the outlet is back here, so I can't have my tablet set on my desk while it's charging. But I actually tend to get more done when I'm playing Sims and writing, just because then I can't distract myself with the internet, because then my computer is taken up by Sims. So I find that I actually get more work done that way. So, but I will keep you guys updated. Sometimes it will be talking, sometimes it will just be a clip to show progress. Mostly depends on what time of night it is and if I'm still the only one home alone. Because I typically don't like recording if there are other people in the house. But I will update you guys soon. Hopefully chapter 30 will be a good one, and hopefully it will go by relatively quickly. And then hopefully we can finish this book up real soon and move on to book 5 and move on to all of my other projects. But either way, I will keep you guys updated as the day progresses and then as the weekend progresses.
Hey guys, so it is currently 4:19 in the morning on the 19th, Sunday. Yesterday was relatively slow for me. My wrist was killing me most of the day, and it had been in a brace, and I was taking off the brace only to ice it. It is currently out of the brace because I needed a break from it. Any long amount of pressure on the bruise does eventually hurt, but at the moment, it's relatively okay. But yesterday, Saturday, I did manage to type a lot more than I thought I did, actually, looking at it right now. 4,257 words, but almost all of those words were written before I went to sleep. At 3:19 a.m. I had a 2,315 word entry. At 6:09 a.m. I had a 1,108 word entry, and at 11:15 p.m. I believe I was working on the chapter that I had started before I went to sleep. That was an 834 word entry. And just now I've just finished another chapter, and I will add that really fast to let you know the progress that I've made so far today on Sunday. 1,388 words. That brings the total for this book so far to 55,772 words. So that was chapter 32, so there will be at least 2 more chapters in an epilogue. The next chapter seems like it's going to be, this chapter took place on a Wednesday. The next chapter will probably take place on a Monday. At this point, they have caught both of the killers for both of these situations in this book. They are just now charging the one killer. The other killer has already been charged. And they're just wrapping up a few more things, and a few things need to happen before the end of this book, before we dive into the next one, because I do think that there will be at least a little bit of a time skip. Because this is book 5 in this series. This is book 4, the next one's book 5, there you go. But at the moment, this one is set in April, and book 1 of this series began in January, So there is going to be a gap at some point, not a huge one. There normally isn't a huge one, but there will be one at some point. And I'm assuming it will be at the end of this book before we jump into book 5. But I do think that 2 more chapters and an epilogue will probably wrap this one up. That is the hope, so that way I can finish this one, finish up the cover, and move on to all of my other books. The temporary cover for this book isn't going to be as detailed or anything like that as the others because my wrist just cannot tolerate that, but it will still be a cover. Book 5 is most definitely going to be the painter, so that is the one that I'm designing the cover for, and then we will start book 5. But I'm going to get back into this, start chapter 33, hopefully finish that up relatively soon. If nothing else, at least finish it before I go to sleep, and then start chapter 34, presumably when I wake up, but if I'm lucky and things continue to move along relatively quickly, I might be able to finish 2 chapters before I go to sleep and an epilogue after I wake up. But either way, I will update you guys at least one more time before I go to sleep to show you any progress. Alright, so it is 6:17 in the morning, and I have officially finished the last 2 chapters of The Campsite Butcher. I still have an epilogue left to write, but the last chapter that I just finished, hold on. So, at 5:42 I finished the second to last chapter, and that was 811 words, and just now I finished the last chapter, which is 576 words. That brings my total to 57,159 words altogether. So the only thing I have left on this book is an epilogue, and then I will be done, and I will be able to finish up the cover for the painter and then move on. So it's at this point in the morning, basically, where I have exceeded my welcome stay out here in the living room with the birds. They are in the dark corner of the living room, but it's starting to get light outside, so I start to feel increasingly guilty for being out here. So I am going to shut off my stuff out here and move on back to my room. I probably won't do any writing because I honestly... No, it's here. I might take the keyboard back there and type on my phone and see if I can finish the epilogue beforehand, and if I do, I won't do any talking, but I will fill you in on it and just show you the ending, or the end word count, not the end of the book. But I am almost done with this one. I am almost ready to move on, and then I will be able to work on my other books today, if I'm able to finish the epilogue, which I will hopefully be able to do. But either way, I will hopefully update you guys again very, very soon. Hey guys, so it is currently 2:23 in the morning on Monday, August 20th. Yesterday, Sunday, I did manage to finish the cover for the painter. It's not anywhere near as detailed as I would like it to be, but honestly my wrist couldn't handle doing a lot of details, so I just did what I could over the span of a couple days. But I have just finished the prologue for the painter, and that ended up being 1,257 words. This is the first prologue in a while that has only been about the killer and from the killer's point of view. Eventually, when I start editing all of the books for self-publishing, that will be the goal. Every prologue will be about the killer in that book, and every epilogue will be about the killer in that book, except for the very last book, because I actually don't think that one has an epilogue from the Bo Austin series. And then I don't know what the hell will happen with the Bo Austin Taylor series. But the prologue is officially done, so I'm going to move on to my other books for a while. Mostly, I won't be writing a whole bunch in them. I will just kind of do what I've been doing, and I will write a few words here and there, and then if I get into the groove of something on one of the books, I will just work on that one until I'm bored of it, more or less. But I am going to move on to Letters from Madman, and then go from there. But I think that's all stuff that I'm just going to do, and then I will see you guys eventually for another work in progress, or a cover video, or any of the other book research, anything else that I do. But that being said, that is all I have for this video. If you enjoyed this video, a like is always appreciated, and if you'd like to stay updated on my writing, the gaming videos every Friday, or anything that I do in between, feel free to subscribe. All the links to my authors pages, as well as the links to my social media, are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.